8 prison officials at the privately run G4S Mangaung Correctional Centre in the Free State have been suspended following the death of an inmate. Mpho Mkhumbeni died on the 12th of March following an unauthorised raid of his cell in the prison where he was pepper sprayed and beaten the night before. A report by the National Correctional Services Commissioner further states that a sanctioned post-mortem examination concluded the inmate's death was unnatural, caused by complications from pepper spray exposure and blunt force trauma, resulting in a formal classification of the case as murder. A final investigation report will be released at a later stage. Mkhumbeni's family says they were looking forward to having him home as he was expected to be released later this year. They've also indicated that they will seek legal advice after learning about what led to his death.
Investigation moved further to confirm the contractor's failure to adhere to its obligations under the concession contract. In essence, senior managers who were required to provide oversight during and after the search failed to intervene or report the incident. Their claims of not witnessing the incident have been found to lack credibility. This incident underscores the department's standing concerns about the management of Mangaung Correctional Centre. As a matter of record, the Department of Correctional Services is currently engaged in legal proceedings concerning the termination of the contract with Bloemfontein Correctional Contracts. That is the BCC, the contracted contractor. And these latest developments, of course, will be viewed in that light moving forward.
To talk more about what happened and whether the department will take over the running of the Mangaung Correctional Centre, we're joined now by the Department of Correctional Services spokesperson, Singabakho Nxumalo. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, another scandal at the Mangaung Correctional Centre highlighting the ongoing concerns. What is the latest as you and I speak this evening? I mean, a lot was said throughout the course of the day at the press briefing.
A very good evening and thank you for having us. One must say that this is a disturbing incident and as a Department of Correctional Services, we are vindicted in our action when we're informed that this was a natural death. We said to ourselves, no, it's something that must be looked into and push that a full-scale investigation be conducted, because the reports that we're getting from the officials who were conducting the searching was not convincing to us, and even sanctioned that a postmortem be conducted. And what has been revealed thus far is something that, as a department, we are saying we took the right decision by saying that no, we need to look into this in its entirety. And although the investigation is ongoing, but the details that we shared today, at least they are directing us now in saying that more still needs to be done here. And those who were involved in that session really have a case to answer for internally, but also the matter was also registered with the SABC.
As more needs to be done, 8 G4S officials have since been suspended. What about the senior managers tasked with operational oversight? What course of action has been taken with them?
One of the complicating factors here is that the officials that were suspended by G4S were, let's say, the junior officials, those that were conducting the raid. Whereas in the vicinity, there were also managers. And when you look at the video footage, you could see them being there. And when they were asked by our investigators what really happened there, they claimed to have not seen anything or had anything. Yet, other reports that we received as part of our investigation directed us to other things which were later confirmed to be true. So as a department, we then said, no, we cannot just leave this in the state that it was. Hence, then the temporal manager impressed upon our officials also there to say we now need to suspend the operational certificates of the senior managers. And that was a decision that ought to be taken by the controller, and indeed the controller did that. Hence today we're able to state that the director of operations, who's a it's a more senior level, the manager of operations and security supervisor, all these people at senior level are also part of the 8 that are currently on suspension.
Okay, so they include senior managers tasked with operational oversight are included within the 8.
Yes.
So
Yes.
In terms of the ratio breakdown, how many are operational? How many are the G4S officials?
Yeah. Remember, the facility is being operated by G4S,
yes.
and they are the ones who initiated this searching operation without even informing the temporary manager who's appointed by Correctional Services, because the temporary manager would have been part of that searching exercise if only he was informed. So they decided that they were going to do this searching without even informing the temporary manager, and things went wrong there. And hence then we needed to investigate this in full, because the report that they gave us was that they had a drill which they did inform us about, but in that drill they never said that after that they will then do a searching exercise. And as a department, we therefore needed to say we need to take action on this. The investigation was then directed towards the right cause, and we do believe that where we are thus far is something that indeed is taking us closer to the full truth, because I think most of it has been uncovered, and there's even empirical evidence by means of a post-mortem examination, which then does tell us that indeed this inmate did not die due to natural causes.
Yeah, I mean, with the big concern around G4S and its employees trying to conceal the truth and obstruct the investigation, and your investigation is ongoing, at the same time, as we talk about accountability and a call for answers, we cannot forget that even after Thabo Beste's escape from the correctional centre in 2022, there's been no real accountability, no tangible evidence that those who were, the company G4S, what sort of accountability will come from this incident? How many of these incidents need to happen for the contract to either be terminated, or the department to take over the running of the Mangaung Correctional Centre?
We are in court, and we did state that, because we've made it very clear, even until this day, we still maintain that we'll want this contract to be terminated. We'll want to go in there and take over the running of that facility. But unfortunately, there is litigation currently ongoing, and we have to follow those processes. But if the court were to pronounce itself and say, right now, go in there and operate a facility, the contract is terminated, we'll definitely do that. Hence, we even now had to say, okay, let us look at other avenues available within the contract that we have with them, which is enforced, to say, are we able then to be much closer towards some of these operations? And then we had to appoint a temporary manager there. And yet you find the facility still going, around circles, doing other things, even trying to blindside the temporary manager, because there are other things that they will want to do operationally. So as a department, hence we've said here very boldly that we are not only looking at just a murder case, but even opening a case of defeating the ends of justice, because some of the statements that were given to our investigators are disturbing, because they were just fabricating lies. So as a department, we said it will not just end here, and but if another relief comes sooner, where perhaps the court will pronounce and say the contract is terminated, we'll gladly accept that. And for as long as it's in force, we just have to work with what we have and make it a point that the policies and procedures are followed, but where there are faults, those who contravene the sections of the Correctional Services Act must be taken to task.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, wrapping up that discussion there with the Department of Correctional Services spokesperson, Singabakho Nxumalo.